Well, hello again, fair viewer. This is Lord Deku on August 7th at about 3:41 a.m. and welcome to Let's Play Super Mario Bros. Part 15, I think. Okay, I save stated myself into a bit of a pickle there. But fortunately, I seem to have found a solution to my pickle problem. Jump over him. Yeah, fuck you, buddy. Let's go in here, check things out. Oh, doesn't look like there's anything in there. Oh, Lakitu, where are you? That's right. You're dead. Fuck me. As soon as I say that, literally as soon as I say that. Okay, I just wanted to see if they were immune, just like the, what are they, beetles? Buzzy beetles? Whatever the fuck they are. They're immune to the fire, as I discovered. Okay. 2,000. Nothing really to brag about. I didn't get fireworks either. Okay. I did. I even got fireworks. Suck it. They're used to, and I'm not making fun of this kid at all. I actually like this kid. He was retarded. Or, I don't know. I guess there's like a more respectful word. Oh shit. Oh shit. I forgot to save state, I think. Did I? Oh, that's the best thing ever. Thinking you didn't save state, only to see that you did. So here's one pipe I won't have to show off while doing the final run. Is it just me, or do you jump higher when you're small? I don't know, it kind of seems to me that you jump somewhat higher. Yeah, see right there, he's immune to... I didn't think they did that! Oh, fuck me. Whatever. Whatever. I'm safe, you can't get me. Can't get me, bitch! Can't get me! There I go. So there, I did a water level. And even if I lose, I don't have to do that again, because you've already seen it. Suck it. Yeah, anyway, I was telling that story. Okay, yes, so there was this kid. He was a black kid, and he, was retarded. And again, I don't mean any disrespect by that, because I like this kid. Okay, no mushroom. But yeah, he had this thing. I don't know where it came from. I mean, I'm assuming, not that I endorse it, but I'm assuming it came from, you know, somebody kind of doing it at his expense, but, you know, prior to me, you know, knowing this kid, as of knowing him, so, like, just straight away, upon introductions, he had this thing, and it embarrassed my friends, but I thought it was awesome. He would drag us to the middle of the quad. Our high school was an outdoor high school, so... Oh, fuck off. So he would drag us to the middle of the quad, and, like where everybody could see. Like I said, my friends got embarrassed by it, and they didn't like this kid. I did. I thought he was funny. And so he would start, sexually gyrating, just saying suck it over and over. Just suck it, suck it, suck it. And he would say it like that, too. Like, I mean, probably even more high-pitched than that. So, I don't know, I thought he was pretty funny. The people at my school were generally, pretty cool to the special ed people. I don't know, that's one thing I did like about my school. Like, we had a lot of gang problems. And, you know, I'm not talking about, like, wannabes, and I'm not talking about, I'm talking about my high school here. It's not like elementary school gangs. No, but they weren't like wannabe gangs like a lot of places. But we had more problems with kind of people at my school basically founding gangs, and then people at rival schools founding gangs, and them having like little school turf wars. And okay, that I do find a bit ridiculous in high school. You know, having turf wars in high school I think is pretty ridiculous. So yeah, I mean, so that was the big thing. But anyway, so I mean, there was a fair share of violence and all that, but for the most part, the retarded people and the special ed people were pretty well treated. And people who didn't treat them well, and this was kind of the coolest part, and this goes for not just special ed kids, but also, you know, homosexual kids and things like that, you know, there were people who would go to the dances and, you know, dance with same-sex partners and, you know, would get made fun of. And, you know, at my school, you know, people just didn't tolerate it. You know, we were pretty accepting. You know, I think that's kind of the one good thing about kind of a gang like high school is that we really all kind of stuck up for one another. You know, we didn't take a lot of crap. You know, no matter who the kid was, you know, we just kind of protected each other. And I don't know, I always thought that was pretty cool, even if it wasn't necessarily started the correct way. Shit! Yeah, we had a lot of interesting things happen. A kid by the name of Sasha, and I don't even know what the fuck his last name was, in my middle school, he brought a gun to school, and 3 other people were involved. There were rumors, I don't know how much of it's true. Gaming Guider was actually one of the people involved. I don't know the extent of what happened to him, but I know that he got expelled. He wasn't the one to bring the gun, I do know that, so I just know that 4 people were involved. 2 of them got expelled, and 2 of them got suspended. Now, I don't know if any deals were made, you know, I don't know any of that, so I admittedly don't know any information, but yeah, that's pretty much how it is. Pretty much we had a kid in the student council in our class, and he basically just told us everything, except, well, I mean, I guess I probably could have figured it out, because I wasn't on bad terms with him. I didn't particularly like this student council member, but I was on good terms with him. Javier Nino. Avi Nino, don't bat like a minnow, bat like a shark. So we said, that was our batting chant for him back in baseball. Anyway, Gaming Guider got expelled. He went to a continuation school, and this is for middle school, not high school. In high school, he didn't. I don't think he did really. I mean, he was just kind of like in the anime club in high school, so I don't think he really did anything. I mean, and despite me liking anime, I wasn't really in the club scene, so I was more in the athletic scene. But yeah, we had that. We had a bomb scare. We had somebody's older brother. I think that's what they ultimately decided, is that it was an older brother who called in after his younger brother got suspended or something. And it's a totally separate incident from the gun incident. Happened at different times, I think different years too. So yeah, and then a kid, and I'm not sure which high school this was, but when I was in high school, during my senior, whoops, 1 second, if you heard that, it's because I accidentally unplugged my controller, and that is, what? 1 second while I figure this out. Sorry about that, folks, but I had to forcefully crash JNES, the emulator I'm using. I don't really know why. Yeah, but anyway, as I was saying, there was a kid from my high school, or from another high school, and he was dating somebody in my high school, and this is during my senior year, in which I was sick. I had a medical problem, and I could only attend a couple of my senior classes, and I had like this program where a teacher would come to my house for the others, and basically I came to school for my weightlifting class, only to find out that a kid had hung himself before I had arrived at school. So that's what everybody was talking about, and I remember because I was like the odd one out. I was like making jokes and everything in my weightlifting class. Well, what I always did is I would get on the bench curl. For those of you that know what that is, I'd get on the bench curl, and my friends would get on a weight bench with dumbbells, barbell, I don't know. Anyway, they would have the hand weights, and they'd bring the bench over in front of the curl machine, not machine, but the I don't know, I'm blanking on all this stuff, and I should know it. The device, I guess, and so, you know, we'd typically chat, and so we'd typically make jokes and stuff like that. There was like this annoying girl in the class that we didn't like, pretty much because she was a total bitch. She actually joined the football team, and God, she's like this Wiccan. Ugh. not just because she's so Wiccan. Yeah, she's just, ugh. Vanessa Cruz. Anyway, save my state here. Anyway, so yeah, we would typically make jokes and shit like that, and so I started making jokes, and I remember, you know, everybody was, like, telling me, you know, we're not really in a place where we want to make jokes, you know, this kid just hung himself. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, he hung himself from the tennis courts. And so I guess my ex-girlfriend, she was my ex at this time also, was like, she was one of the first people to see it. The whole kind of area, the whole kind of back area at my school was under construction. It only opened from construction after we left, and I think it began construction my sophomore year, like the summer before my sophomore year. I don't remember exactly. But anyway, so it was the constructors that that kind of, you know, handled it and alerted people. But my ex-girlfriend was the first to kind of stumble upon it, and, you know, it really fucked her up. You know, she wasn't very, she didn't handle it very well, let's just say that. And, yeah, that same ex-girlfriend was involved in another kind of weird thing. Whoa! don't even know what that sound was that just came out of me, but yeah, it was a guy at the rival high school whose girlfriend went to our high school, and she dumped him, so he came over to our high school and hung himself. Now, we were just kind of like, we were taking the girls' side, where we were like, that's such a selfish thing to do, because, how do you expect her to feel? You just basically left the guilt trip of a lifetime on somebody you supposedly care about, and left her to play damage control. It's one thing if it's like a fucking adult you're doing it to, but he was doing it to somebody younger than me. I mean, somebody I didn't know, so... I was a senior, I knew everybody. Doubt she was even a junior, because I knew a lot of them too. May have been, I don't know, but, how the fuck is somebody that old supposed to, cope with the fact my boyfriend killed himself and he put the blame all on me? Really, how is somebody that young supposed to deal with that? So we were kind of pissed at the guy, and he had a lot of friends, and it was kind of the cause of a lot of conflicts, between our two high schools. As I previously mentioned, there were a lot of gang-related conflicts, but this was totally different than that. And this year in college, I actually found out that I was in class with some of the people that knew this guy, and they were, as soon as they knew that, I went to Branham and that, I knew about this situation, they were just kind of like, okay, we aren't cool anymore. I didn't really give a fuck, because they were arrogant little pricks anyway. But, yeah, it was just really interesting, the difference in, the difference in, I don't know, perspectives, I guess. And personally, I mean, I think that we're still kind of right. I mean, I can understand knowing him and, kind of being, like, taking his side and, accepting the fact that you lost somebody you were close to, but at the same time, you can't really say it's not fucked up to just leave somebody with that guilt. I'm not of the opinion, like a lot of people are, including my parents, that think all suicides are selfish. I think that there's plenty of suicides where, hurting other people just isn't a motivation. It's just a kind of a byproduct. They aren't doing it for attention. They aren't doing it to hurt anybody. They're just doing it to get out of the situation that they're in. And, I mean, I'm just going to say this now. It gets better after high school. No matter who you are, no matter what you do, if you don't like high school, you think high school is bad, it gets better. So, if you're ever feeling like ending it, remember that, because I mean, I'm really serious about that. It does. And I was one who loved high school, and I like high school better than college, but part of that is because there's not really any drama in college. So I mean, if the drama is pushing you to the edge, the drama is definitely an aspect that does get better. And I'm not just saying that, I'm really serious. Fuck. Yeah, I don't really make light of suicide or anything, but yeah. And so, really quick, since I am running low on time, the other situation that happened at my high school that involved my ex-girlfriend, was there was a girl who I believe she was, again, I didn't know her. Oh shit, I just saved. Let me see. Oh, fuck me. Okay, whatever. I'm gonna keep playing. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna pause it right there, finish my story, and call it quits. Yes, there was a girl who, or my ex-girlfriend. What am I saying? A girl. My ex-girlfriend. Um, not gonna mention her name. Well, her name was Aspen, kind of a unique name, and it's a name that I hear a lot, and always makes me think of her. And the breakup wasn't exactly mutual. I still have feelings for her, and I probably will for a long, long time. But anyway, there was a girl that was a grade below us, and she died. It wasn't a suicide. She was at a Super Bowl party. She got really drunk. She went out with another girl on I don't know, a go-kart or something, and she swerved to avoid something. I think she swerved, but anyway, she lost control, and I think it's a steering wheel. Maybe it was some other part of the cart. Impaled her, and her friend was injured too. They were both rushed to the hospital. She was pronounced dead later on, and her friend made a recovery. Her friend was in real shock, and not to mention that, but I guess her friend, like, after all was said and done, after all was said and done, some people visited her at the hospital, and people were like, "Oh, are you all right?" And her response was something like, "Oh, what am I gonna do? Die?" or something like that. So a whole bunch of people got on her case for disrespecting her friend. I don't. I'm not going to pass judgment on somebody who not only witnessed that, but was, part of it too, to an extent. And, my ex-girlfriend was in soccer tryouts with her and got to know her through that. And so she was pretty shaken up by that death. And, we also had a couple of strangers on campus and shit like that. So we had kind of a eventful, or I had an eventful school life. But this is where I'm going to end the video, so goodbye and so long, see you in the next video, and thank you so much for watching.